By this point, you've probably used AI to generate something, but maybe some text or a quick image. But is AI truly ready to take on big creative challenges from conceptual development to commercially viable images and video? Welcome to One Amazing Thing About Rhapsody. Today we're talking with Alexander Woellwarth, Chief AI Officer at Rhapsody, and he's going to be sharing one amazing thing about their AI-driven creative service with us today. Alexander, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Greg. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing this in action. I know we both spoke at ETEL Boston a few months ago, and I saw at least some of the stuff that you have to share. But looking forward to seeing more. But why don't we start with you giving a little background on yourself and your role at Rhapsody?
Right. So basically, I'm not from the marketing world. Before Rhapsody, I was working for a company, a large American company that provided training data. So we used to train Alexa, Siri across the globe, also ChatGPT for that matter. And it really taught me in not only the chance of elevating your business with AI, but also the limitations of AI and the intelligence that is sort of limited, especially with LLMs. So with Rhapsody, we sort of gave it a different spin and we use AI as an accelerator, but primarily we rely on the creatives, on our creative powerhouse, on the 30 years of experience that we have to move things forward, basically.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about what you're going to share with us today. Who's the audience for this, and why is it important to them?
Right. So basically, our primarily focus on the target audience is large organizations because they struggle with budget restrictions, economic changes. We all know that it's quite challenging at the moment. So AI really allows us to work with them from the get-go in terms of the creative aspects of marketing and not plan out shoots across the globe for a lot of millions of dollars rather than just start from the get-go. You and me, we could literally start now with a campaign. As it's all in AI, creativity is really limitless.
Yeah, love it. Well, let's take a look. Why don't you share your screen and talk us through it?
So basically, my department, Rhapsody Labs, is sitting between technology and people because AI is such a fast-moving animal. On a daily basis, we basically have a research arm and a production arm. On a daily basis, new models come out now with Nano Banana Pro. It really is limitless and it's also very fast moving. So we're not locking ourselves into one technology. We're using several different LLMs as well as Gen AI models to create the content that we do. And it only looks as good as it does because we use potentially 70% of AI and the rest is done with our creative retouches, basically. So the process is quite simple. As we have decades of experience as a creative agency, we use that and funnel it into training AI systems, with the prompting being completely different than I, as a tech person, would prompt a machine. It's more like set the focus lens to 1.2, or I need an eagle shot, and all these sort of words and descriptions really change the output from the get-go. So the 70 and 80% of the AI content already looks rather good, I'd say. And the rest we definitely use for retouching. And every asset that we produce and every video has a sort of storytelling and art direction. So nothing is sort of out of control. Everything is human in the loop, controlled, and that is really important for us. Obviously, with using AI for content, it's rather obvious the pros are speed and flexibility, but of course, cost effectiveness and the limitless creativity, because you can already start creating amazing content where you would still, in the past, plan out a photo shoot and the whole sort of campaigns for the next year. I'm just going to show you some of the content real quick. So for food photography on the left, you can see what the client has sent us, a rather bland standard image. It's not really high quality as well. It was shot with an iPhone. And on the right, that was the image that we produced with AI. Obviously here you can see the French cuisine sort of vibe. We're giving a lot of sort of new atmosphere to a picture that was before rather simple. Yeah. And here as well, so I'm just going to browse through that real quick. Obviously, the bokeh effect and all these things are rather hard and rather difficult to achieve in food photography, and with AI, it's really, really simple and easy. Also, of course, a very important aspect is videos. You know that as well as me, that TikTok and Instagram and short form videos really sell the product nowadays. So that is a very popular option that our clients really love, that we can produce high quality videos as well with the content. Fashion, very important, because here you can see that is not possible that it would be AI created. Many of these AI imagery we see in the internet are rather obvious, but here I'd say people would struggle to see that these models are not existing. And it was a client from the US that had an e-com store, and we just took the apparel right off the e-com store. We didn't need anything more from them and produced the content that you see here. So that shooting in San Francisco never happened. These people are not existing. So obviously you don't have to pay fees. Or copyright infringements is not a problem because these people don't exist. As you can see here on the right, it's heavily retouched as well because the lighting, it looks rather spectacular and really realistic, and that can only be achieved in the post-processing. But in general, I'd say the content speaks for itself. On the right here, you can basically see what we drew out of the e-com store. And obviously here as well, you can see the movement, very difficult to achieve without having the human in the loop aspect. So people really, with photography and videography knowledge retouching in the post-processing to make it look that realistic. Within automotive, obviously, you can use it for a plethora of things. Here, we use it for concept cars, rather excellent. These high CGI renders cost a lot of money beforehand, and now with AI, I think it's a beautiful new world where we can create these things. This was for obvious client, I'd say. You can see that right. And spot it. But yeah, I think it's a really cool and amazing new tool. Also for embargo cars, when the car is not really in production yet, you can produce wonderful content. I think I'd say the biggest cost-saving aspect we have seen in manufacturing, because these large machines across the globe, that is a lot of money that basically clients or large organizations spend on that, and this can be just mitigated with AI. And obviously here we have a very particular clientele that spot the difference and know every sort of screw of the machine. So here it's very, very important to have hyper-realistic looking content. Some case studies, obviously here we have Bentley for Gen Z. You have some YouTube sort of money and Gen Z that are now affording cars that potentially beforehand weren't in the clientele, and you can basically produce amazing Instagram short form content. So here you can see basically our first step is to take the media press image. The second is to create the story, which is the brewing storm, and then the moving image in the last one. Something we've done for Veeam is sort of a website experience. Also, that is very, very quick. And yeah, for Aspen of London, we did an Easter campaign. And here as well, we use a hybrid approach. The bunny is basically animated and the rest is done with AI. And we just got the handbags sent through us. So that is basically it for now that I'm going to show you content-wise. Yes. But this is basically...
Yeah, I mean it's amazing stuff, and I think the couple things that immediately come to mind. I mean, one is you were able to do that with existing images, and in some cases rather, whether it's lower res or just rather mundane, just like product shots on a white background, and able to do that. How much creative direction goes into some of those things, like the one with the French food, with the surrounding around that, like how much of that is kind of directed by the human, and then AI kind of does the rest?
Well, we always start with the human led approach, right? So it's always like the creative led aspect, yeah. But I plan very exciting things. We have a SaaS platform that's called Engine, and I want to give our clients access to a module within Engine that they use beforehand for editing and AI automation for basically publishing. And if they then have a content kit available to them that is pre-trained by us and our creatives, I think that can be a wonderful workflow, right? When they already have some tools pre-trained with a creative agency in the back, I think that will create wonderful workflows as well. But as said, at the moment, even manually, it's human-led, and then the AI content can be, after the 2 weeks, basically initial setup, 48 hours turnaround time.
Yeah, and so that really changes kind of the nature of the client and the agency relationship. So in other words, in the case you're mentioning, Rhapsody is enabling your clients to kind of use your expertise and your creative expertise, but to do some of this stuff themselves, right? So is that how do you look at that then, that relationship of is it is it a hybrid? Like it's not really just a software platform because you do have creatives on the team and it's not just an agency because your clients are using software. How do you look at that kind of relationship?
So just once again, I'm just going to share my screen here.
Yeah.
Real quick, you can see this is engine as it is right now. So if Pixel Clerk, you can automatically crop imagery for your catalogs, for example, PDF kit, great PDFs, etc. I think it's rather self-explanatory. And then if you have some sort of content kit accessible to our clients as well, they basically would get an AI flow like shown here with the PDFs, but just with content. And what happens here is they only can come to us when they need the human in the loop, like a real creative director. But for the initial work, they can basically just say, okay, I don't know, I have a beer bottle as a product or I have a car as a product, and this is pre-trained on these specific products because we know them from our clients. They can already churn out the content themselves. And if they like some image or some video, then they can push that forward to us and we will perfect it. That would be sort of the workflow that I'm envisioning.
Yeah.
But obviously here it's rather different because if you use ChatGPT, the content would look completely different. And I want our clients to experience that themselves rather than educating them again and again. It's better to give them access.
Yeah, love it. Well, Alexander, thanks so much for joining today. For those that are interested, they like what they see. What's the best way for them to get started?
Well, of course, just visit our website, rhapsodymedia.com, and there you can basically also fill out the contact formula, and then my team members will come back to you.
Wonderful. Well, again, I'd like to thank Alexander Woellwarth, Chief AI Officer at Rhapsody, for joining the show. You can learn more about Alexander and Rhapsody by following the links in the show notes.
Thanks, Greg.